Hello, it is chapter 8 of the 50th Law by Robert Greene and 50 Cent. This week is all about respecting the process and mastery. On page 205, master the instrument, master the music, then forget all that shit and play. Charlie Parker. 50 Cent discovered the streets and the corporate world were not too far off from one another. He noticed that they both had the same levels or similar levels of impatience, and that they could only see what was in front of them. That was weeks or months. They weren't looking at the bigger picture, looking up and out at years and decades, the final goal. And that they both had an emotional attachment to money, which would be feeding their ego. It was more all along the lines of short-term instead of long-term. When he entered the corporate world and was climbing the ladder, they would be offering him deals and money, and this money to him was illusion money. He would rather start his own business and do things on his own terms, and he decided that he would get there with his own grind and persistence. On page 210, most people can't handle boredom. That means they can't stay on one thing until they get good at it. They wonder why they're unhappy. 50 Cent. From early on, our primitive ancestors, life was endlessly labor, securing food and shelter. As generations have passed in today's day and age, it's not as much of a struggle, and that means we have a lot more extra time. Back then, when they had extra time, they would do rituals and find intentional things to give more meaning to life. Today, that leads into more of a means of distraction, if that's with public entertainment, drugs, alcohol, social activities. And with that, as humans, once they wear off, we crave them, and we want more and more. The fearless type does not get frustrated or look for escapism with boredom. They take it as an opportunity. 1. Having a long-term goal will lift your mind out of the moment to endure more and then to work harder. It takes you out of right now and what sets you far apart from it, but more how can you get closer to what you're trying to achieve. 2. The better and more persistent you are to refining that craft, the more pleasurable it becomes, the more satisfying it becomes, the more rewarding it becomes within. While playing the long game and mastering your craft, you develop lifelong skills along the way and mental discipline that serves as a foundation of your strength and power. And that trickles into everything else in your life. So overall, you're becoming the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell. And to do this, you must choose something that deeply, truly excites you. And what you're doing is creating no division, no fence between work and pleasure. You're doing something you love every day, all the time. You're fulfilled. And with that comes the pleasure of mastering from the process itself. You learn to love the process, even if it knocks you down 100 times. You're going to get up and still love it and learn from that. Here are the keys to fearlessness. 1. Process through trial and error. Too often, our concept of learning is to absorb ideas from books, to do what others tell us to, and perhaps to do some controlled exercises. But this is an incomplete and fearful concept of learning. cut off from practical experience. We are creatures who make things. We don't simply imagine them. To master anything, you must experiment. Write up that hypothesis. Experiment, get your results. See if your hypothesis was right or not. Take the data that you've gathered and then experiment again. Just keep growing. Keep growing. You're going to take the hard blows and see what works and what doesn't in real time. And overall, that's building your intuition, which is the ultimate point of mastery. When you can master your intuition. Because then you just know how to move. Due to the wisdom and experience you've gathered from being in the field time and time again, from trying. 2, master something simple. Often we have a general feeling of insecurity because we have never really mastered anything in life. Unconsciously, we feel weak and never quite up to the task. Before we begin something, we sense we will fail. Attack the weakness and insecurity in your head and go head on with it. Each time you try, you are building patterns of confidence. Every time you try, you're building confidence. You're becoming less fearful to the failure and getting up to do it again. Start simple. Start with one task. Accomplish it, and then build and grow and do something a little bit more difficult. An example is when I was more apprehensive on starting my art, I put online anyone that would reach out to me in 24 hours. I would draw them something small for free and ship it to them. And I got, I think 4 or 5 people that responded, and I accomplished that goal, and it really built my confidence. From that starting point to where I'm at now is night and day. Start somewhere. Just start simple. This also translates to everything in life, because as you're building your confidence in these patterns, when you're trying something new or a different goal to achieve, if that's with groups or yourself and not necessarily that specific passion, you're not going to be scared to do it because you're already showing up head on to take over and to freaking do the dang thing. You develop certain skills that can be applied to anything, from what I just said. And with that, you instantly see the reward that comes from patience, practice, and discipline. 3, internalize the rules of the game. Understand when you enter a group as a part of a job or a career, there are all kinds of rules that govern behavior, values of good and bad, power networks that must be respected, patterns to be followed for successful action. Patiently observe, gather the data and intel you need, learn from it. You must see social and political skills as a craft you must master to be able to maneuver and play the game properly to the best of your abilities. Deepening this knowledge only benefits yourself. If you find yourself confronting an unjust and corrupt system, it is much more effective to learn its codes from the inside and discover its vulnerabilities. Knowing how it works, you can take it apart for good. 4, attune yourself to the details. First, you got a project or idea. You're gonna immerse yourself into that world and learn all the details about it and the subject of that field. Then, What materials do you have? Gather everything that you need to create it. Figure out your target audience, who you're trying to reach, what chatter you're trying to bring up. Then, by you going deeper into the fine points of what that idea and goal is, allows your project to take shape. It allows it to take shape and have depth and be of quality. It's not going to be like a shirt delivered from Shein. It's going to be a handcrafted shirt from a brand name that you like, for example. There's going to be noticeable differences. Make sure your research is intense. From this knowledge, you shape the project itself, grounding it in reality rather than airy concepts in your head. Operating this way helps you slow your mind, see things clearer, and develop patience for detailed work, an essential skill you need to master any craft. Rediscover your natural persistence. This is the dilemma we all face. To accomplish anything worthwhile in life generally takes some time, often in blocks of years. To force yourself past any obstacle or temptation, you must be persistent. People constantly want immediate results. Anything too immediate and fast is most likely not of quality. Let me give you an example. I feel like a lot of people look for immediate results in weight loss. There's a lot of gimmicky things out there that you can buy to help, or beauty products. And usually with those kinds of things, to see long-term actual results, it's going to be long-term. You got to put in the work. Or when it comes to money, people like to make a quick buck, but there's no strong foundation in that, because does that mean that you're going to be able to make that same amount later on? No, because it was quick and fast. Anything that's quick and fast is very fleeting and will not stick around. You must be persistent and disciplined. And with that, I've discovered mastering myself really helps me elevate and master the other goals and things I have in my life, such as career, etc. You need to rediscover and redevelop this trait within you. And it's not easy. It's like an everyday thing you must work at, even the days you don't want to show up. The first thing that you really need to understand with this too is that it's not about just starting something, because a lot of people start stuff, but they don't finish it. You need to bring it into full completion. So where you started, you're going to go and make a full circle. Completing a task is you showing persistence, and then starting another one, and then completing it. And then just that repetitive motion of starting and then finishing. That's what brings persistence. And then the more you tack on and accomplish, that shows how disciplined you are. Let's say you have this large goal. There are many steps along the way. Instead of looking at it as just the large goal, because it could be very overwhelming to some, break it down into those small steps. And then with that first step, you're like, I need to start this, and then I completed it. Then do the next one, and then it's a build-up of that larger goal. I like to use the example often when I talk to people of showing up every day and putting one Lego on a set that I'm trying to build. And then a month has passed by, or let's say a year, and I've completed it. Because each day I'm adding one more Lego that wasn't there the day before. And over time, the significance of showing up every day and being persistent is literally physically seen, compared to not staying persistent. Remember, anything will give you way to a sustained, persistent attack on your part. Keep showing up. Keep showing up even when you don't want to. Keep showing up when it seems like it's pointless. Keep showing up when things are quiet. Because you show up that next day and then something great happens. Keep showing up. Persistence is so important. It is one of the keys. And when you got that going on and your discipline's on lock, you are unstoppable. Who cares what anyone says? Who cares if it seems like it's not working out right away? When your mom or your dad or your family member or somebody is making a nice slow cooked meal and it's been in that crock pot for like 12 hours or more, and you finally get to eat it and you're like, damn, that shit's good. It wouldn't have been that good if it only took an hour. And that's the same thing with your goals and the things you want in life. But yeah, this is chapter 8. Play the long game. Show up every day. Be disciplined and master your craft. Master the tools you need. Master yourself. And I will see you next week for chapter 9.